Without further ado, I am delighted to hand across for your Supporters Club End of Season Awards for 2024-25. Across to my right, there's Kenny MacDonald, our Secretary and Treasurer, and so much more. Kenny, thank you very much for everything that you do. Mikey McLean, who tells me that he does everything else that Kenny doesn't do. So we're not really sure what your chairman does. However, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Fraserburgh Football Club Supporters Club Chairman Brian Chopping. Brian.
Thank you, Ian, very much indeed. First of all, I'd like to say a very good evening to everybody. Hopefully you're enjoying yourself up till now. A lot of exciting things still to come. First of all, I'd like to thank Mark and all his backroom staff for all the work that they do. To all the players who have given us such enjoyment throughout the season, we as fans, so thank you to all the players and everyone else. Also to the club's new chairman who spoke earlier, to Michael Money, and to George, Tom, the Vice Chair, and to all the committee and all the directors, a big thank you, because as we all know, we're a family club, we're a community club, and I think as supporters, we really appreciate everything that you do, and again, we appreciate the fact that the Brock team, unlike other teams in the Highland League, is mostly local players. We like to see the youth coming through, so a lot of the youth are actually here tonight. Obviously, it would be amiss of me not to say thank you to Fraserburgh Football Club, Supporters Club, and all the work they do organising all the buses. The number of men. And the disco starts later, actually. We've actually had a record number of supporters, members of the Supporters Club, 249, which is a record, so we appreciate that as well. We've run. This season we've run 29 buses to 24 games, which is actually one more than actually season 1999-200. The only place we didn't run a bus to this season was to Wick, which I think was the first game of the season, but all the other ones we run buses to get the fans here. Something about the team now, we all know we played the first team, that is 34 matches, and we only lost 5. Now I was looking at statistics, and I know Kenny does that as well. When you look at the league, apart from finishing 5th, Brecon City they only lost 2 games, but the team that won the league, Brora, they actually lost 6 games, as did Bankside and also Inverurie Locals. They all lost 6 games. We only lost 5. So when you look at it that way, that is a really great achievement by the team. I'd like to highlight just briefly 4 of my favourite moments in the season. I'm not going to go into the younger teams, because I'm sure Michael will cover that in the presentation later. The first one I'd like to touch on was on Saturday the 30th of November, a fantastic 2-0 win in the Scottish Cup. 3rd round against Annan Athletic, and apart from the score and the way the team played, I really felt pretty proud as a granda, the fact that my grandson Aaron Topping was actually one of the 2 mascots, so that made it even more special. The second one I'd like to mention, 2 seconds. Was on the 15th of March, the final of the Aberdeenshire Shield. I think we all know the score, 4-2 victory over for Martin, and again the team played the best I think I've seen them play all season. A terrific result, and again a lovely bit of silverware, which I think is actually on display over there, so I'm sure you want your photographs taken with that. Now the last game of the season, again very special. A 4-0 victory over Huntley, who had only narrowly beaten 1-0 on the Wednesday night. And why was it special? Apart from the score, apart from those in the hospitality perhaps, that in the 59th minute, that man, Barber, scored. Not our number one goal scorer. Not Scott Barber, no. He's the record holder, I think it's 280 goals, is that right, Scott? 280. It was our number one, but not our number one goal scorer. It was our number one, our goalkeeper. Joe Barber. Joe Barber. From his hand, kicked it, scored. Where are you? Where is he? He's up there. Kicked from his box, went there. Now again, the other Barber, Scott, he did actually challenge the goalkeeper. That did help just quite a bit, and the ball went in. And it was absolutely fantastic, because he did have some wonderful saves during the match, and it was great that he actually won man of the match. So I think that was special. And the final thing I would like to say is, you can forget the Scottish Cup 4th round away to Glasgow Rangers at Ibrox. We ran a number of buses down there. I think the team, the manager, the backroom staff, all the fans, a day to remember. A day that we'll never ever forget. And I think everyone that went, from the fans, to the players, to all the backroom staff, to Mark and his team, the directors, everyone went there. I think we did the town of Fraserburgh and the club very, very proud. I'm sure for the players especially, and the management, it will be something they'll live long in their memory. So well done for that. So, with that, I think I've said enough, because you'll hear a lot of the more facts and figures, and the winners I'm going to hand over to Michael McLean.
Thank you, Brian. I'm sitting down because I can't stand up, okay? So if you can't see me, you're lucky. Right, we're just going to wait to start to present the Supporters Club prizes for this year. Again, it's been an unbelievable Highland League season. So exciting, with Brechin and Brora going head to head right till again the very last game of the season. How many leagues is there that happens on a regular basis? Congratulations to Brora on winning the league, and good luck to them in the playoffs against East Kilbride. I think it's tomorrow that they start off that ones. As Brian had said, and I've written down, we played 49 games in all competitions, which is, I think, one more than last year maybe. We scored 71 goals in the league in 34 games, and 108 goals in total. With 17 league wins, 12 draws, 5 losses. Brian said that. Finlay hit the nail on the head for me. We were in the hutty in the last game of the season against Huntly, and as they said, out of that 12 draws, if we had 5 wins and 7 losses, that would have given us 15 points instead of 12. So, I mean, it's worthwhile having a real go at the end and trying to change games. You get goodings, draws, and you get baddings. The game at Brechin, when Kieran smashed in the goal late on, that was a brilliant draw. And then at Inverurie Locos, when their goalie come up and headered it in the 96th minute, that was a baddie. It felt like a lost skin. But that's football, and that's just the way it works, and you've just got to suck it up and get on with it. We won the Aberdeenshire Shield, which you said, and unfortunately we lost the final against Brora. Again, well done to them on winning the treble. I can't mind how far back it said that it was the last time that happened. Next thing I'd like to do is I'd like to ask our manager Mark Cowie if he could come up and join us, and we'll get him to present the trophies for us. The first trophy we've got is the Under-18s Young Player of the Year. Again, I usually say a wee bit about the leagues, which some we've heard already. In the Aberdeenshire Under-21s League, the Broch finished in first place. We were presented with the GPH Builders Merchants League trophy before the final game at Stonehaven, which I think was mostly the Under-18s that were playing that day. And that was the only game we lost, and they won the other 7 that they played. They scored 33 goals and conceded 12. Flynn Mackay was the top scorer with 8 goals, Stuart Laird with 7, and Sean Butcher scored 6. One of the fastest hat-tricks I think there's ever been was at, can't remember, it was Inverurie or somewhere like that, he did that. Well done to all the coaching staff and the 29 players who took part in the competition. 29 different folk played for the Broch and that. So well done to all them. The under-18s finished in 5th place, having won 11, drawn 1 and lost 8. For Martin United won it, and well done to them. We scored 52 goals and conceded 28. Theo Watt was the top scorer with 9 goals, Hamish Gordon 7, Alex Gibbs 6, and Evan Anderson 4. As I've said, every year the whole thing is at the Broch we use these games as development. The whole thing is you want these under-18s to progress into 21s and then 21s to progress or even faster into the first team, and that's what we want to see. And again, that's what happened in some games this year with Flynn Mackay, Jake Garden, Stuart Laird, Adam Henderson, Dylan Robertson, John Adam, Billy Jones, Fergus Ross, Will Sim, Hamish Gordon and Finlay Stephen all made their debuts for the first team this season. Flynn Mackay, Cameron Robertson and Stuart Laird scored their first goals for the club, which is always so special to do. Would thank Matty, Dino and the many other coaches and everyone who helps these teams to play in these leagues. The winner of this trophy this year has played for both teams. He scored 3 goals in the under-18s in 18 appearances and also played 2 times for the under-21s. The under-18s Young Player of the Year is won by Will Sim. I just say good luck for the future, Will, especially tomorrow. Will is playing in the under-17 Scottish Youth Cup final at Falkirk Stadium against Hutchison Vale. That's for Bankside Albion, I think it is his way. Congratulations on making your debut for the first team as well. Will's dad, Simon, if you're old enough like me, you'll remember Simon played for the Broch. He played 137 games, your dad, and he scored 12 goals for the Broch in the late 80s, early 90s. So hopefully you can beat all his records in the future. So well done. The next one is one I've often struggled with a wee bit. This is a Mark Dewar trophy, and it's decided by the coaching staff. Again, for those who never knew Mark Dewar played for the team that won the Highland League back in 2002. He tragically died on Friday, the 30th of August 2002, when the car he was driving crashed into the Broch Harbour. He was 18 years old. The coaching staff like to give this award to someone who has similar traits to Mark. They're humble, hard-working and do a lot for the club. The Mark Dewar Memorial Trophy this year is won by Emma Thors, physio for the young lads. Well done, Emma. Right, the next one we've got is the Goal of the Season trophy. It broke before I went to clean it. I think it was my fault. I'm either blaming myself or Xander, and Xander's not blamable, so it must have been myself. But we've made a remarkable job at putting it back together, and hopefully it can live for another 2 years until we've got it half finished off. The Goal of the Season is voted for by the players and coaching staff. It's been a good year with some great goals during the season. The awarded winner was Goal F. You didn't see it, but that's what they got. It was Wednesday the 5th of February against Keith. It was away in the Aberdeenshire Shield second round. It was the 6th time we tried to play the tie, which must be some sort of a record. Again, thanks to Xander James for fixing the disco lights that made it look as though we were going to be going back there on another day for a 7th shotty. Logan Watt moves forward with the ball. He gets tackled and the ball goes to Greg Buchan. He hits a perfect pass out to Aidan on the left wing. He chests it down and runs onto the ball from 25 yards out. He smashes a right foot shot which flies past Craig Reid. The ball is still rising as it flies into the top right hand corner of the net. Goal of the season for 2024-25 is won by Aidan Sopel. If you could just bide here, Aidan, please. You're on a roll. Every year now, we've done hat-tricks. And the thing is, football players you see in the Premier League, they get the match bar. I took a while with them. Now, a match bar here costs, and again, how much it costs, it's even like 80, 100 quid or something like that it is. So you didn't get the match back, and simple as that. And Brian was once up in a hutty and he thought, what can we do? And we thought, right, what we'll do is we'll engrave silver plates just to make a memento for them for it happening. So the first hat-trick of the season for us was at home to Rothes. It was on the 28th of September in the Scottish Cup first round. It was in the 4th, 35th and 66th minute. And at that point, Aidan was equal top scorer in the competition. Well done. So, first hat-trick of the season, Aidan Sopel. The second hat-trick was at home to Rothes on the 5th of March in the league. And it was the 26th, 58th and 67th minute. Scott Barber was our top scorer during the season with 23 goals. Sean Butcher had 14, Logan Watt 12 and Aidan Sopel 11. Joe Barber had 45 appearances and 14 clean sheets. Unfortunately, he did not have 3 clean sheets in a row. The Rothes game, when we got beat 6-1, was a nightmare because that would have been a clean sheet and that would have been his 3 up. But it just shows how difficult it is to get it. And the Brora Cup final, I was asking the rest of them was for Joe to get 3 clean sheets. Huntley and Brora, and that would have been perfect for me. We would have won that cup. But this, at home to Rothes, a hat-trick, Sean Butcher. Get a set for your dinner table. Well done. Joe Barber, usually he sneaked in to get a hat-trick for the clean sheets, but obviously it didn't happen this year. But it was the first goal by a Broch goalkeeper for 42 years. At home to Huntley on the 12th of April, Brian had the 59th minute, but I've got the 60th in the league. The last time that happened was on the 29th of January 1983 at Forres. The goal was scored by Neil Clark. Note, this was the old Mossett Park near the new one. It was moved approximately 500 metres southeast in 1987 so they could put the bypass in. So it's a different park, okay? But first goal for the Broch, and the first goal by a goalkeeper for 42 years, Joe Barber. Well done. Okay, this was another season that we've scored over 100 goals during the season. Unfortunately, we only scored, I think it was 65 in the league, but we scored 108 in total. The 100th goal, why try to celebrate that? And it was scored at home to Strathspey Thistle on the 29th of March. Say a lottery if ever gets it. In the league, it was after 20 minutes. It was the second goal of the game. The 100th goal of the season was scored by Scott Barber. Right, this next scene is something that only comes round very, very, very occasionally. We did it last time that we did something fantastic. So we've got two special goals that scored during the season, and these are to me the most important Ians, and these two happen to be equally the most important. So these goals resulted in Fraserburgh FC playing at Ibrox against Rangers in the 4th round of the Scottish Cup. The last time it happened was Brian Hyde did it when we were doing it at Ainsley Park. He scored a goal there, it was 1-2-1. But in this case, it was against Annan Athletic. It was on Saturday the 30th of November in the 3rd round of the Scottish Cup. I've got Logan Watt moves upfield, and after beating 2 players he passes the ball to Scott Barber. Scott jinks his way to the byline, crosses the ball into the 6-yard box, and Connor taps the ball home from 2 yards out. So the first equal most important goal, Connor Wood in the 39th minute. I'm not sure if Connor's here, so Connor's nae here just now, so I'll get the next team to pick up both of them for it. So Scott Barber sends in a corner from the left wing, Kieran jumps highest and powers a header which fly past Jamie Smith in the centre of the net. First equal most important goal of the season, Kieran Simpson in the 44th minute. If you can come up and click them both, please, Kieran. Well done. These are the awards as such, but just as a thank you. Marley Sweeney Rowe and Fraser Mackey came and played for us. We at the Supporters Club would like to take this opportunity to thank the two of them who were on loan at the Broch during the season. Marley Sweeney Rowe came from Dundee, but unfortunately was hampered with a hamstring injury for a bit at the time. Marley played 7 games for us, including the visit to Ibrox, for I thought he was brilliant, and he scored 4 goals in his time. He scored 2 goals in his debut for the club against Rothes in the 1st round of this cup. Fraser came from Aberdeen. Fraser is a local loon. Fraser played 19 games for us and he scored 5 goals. He scored his first goal for the club against Brora away from home in the league, which I thought was probably the most exciting game for me of the whole season when we won 3-2 up there. It was just a wonderful game of football. But basically, all at the Supporters Club like to wish Marley and Fraser all the very best for the future. Okay, the next one is the Players' Player of the Year. The Players' Player of the Year is voted for by the players and the coaching staff. And again, it's been a great year with a lot of the team producing consistently high standard performances. In 3rd place is Joe Barber. In 2nd place was Brian Hay. The winner, by a country mile, for the first time in his career, the Players' Player of the Year trophy is won by Jamie Bigrey. This is Jamie's testimonial year, so we're hoping that everything goes as well as his golf Everything goes as well as his golf day last Sunday, which was at a Broch Golf Club, and Jamie, during that, he managed to get a hole-in-one at the Well, which is his 7th at Fraserburgh. So I'm thinking, Jamie, perhaps a career in golf when you hang up your boots, might be in order, but well done. Hope everything goes really well with everything that goes for your testimonial season this year. I'd like to, the last one here now is Supporters Club Player of the Year. It's our turn to do our one. We'll get Kenny MacDonald to come forward. So he already did it, so it's excellent. This year, all the Supporters Club members were asked to pick one person. Usually it's 3 points, 2 points, 1 point, but somebody forgot that. So it was just one vote. These votes are kept secret and were collected by Kenny MacDonald and myself to make sure it was above board. In 3rd place was Brian Hay. In second place was Jamie Beagrie. Again, the winner for the first time in his career was Kieran Simpson. Well done, Kieran. On behalf of the players, coaching staff and supporters, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Sarah and Emma again for the physio work that they complete during the season, and a special thank you to Dr. Gail Noble, who has now completed her first year as club doctor. I believe Gail had to buy a new pair of Fitbit boots for the Rangers game. And thank you to Connor Wood for lying down in the first half and let her run onto Ibrox Park in her new boots. On a more serious note, anyone who was down at the pre-season game at Broughty Ferry now realises why it is so important to have medics at the match. Andy Reid received a massive bang to the head, with the match eventually had to be abandoned. We as a club are so fortunate to have Sarah, who took control of a dangerous situation until Andy arrived at Ninewells Hospital for treatment. The work at our physio is complete, allows other players to get back kicking a ball as soon as possible. Well done, girls. Again, during last season, Fraserburgh FC in the community with sponsorship from Gray and Adams has continued to be brilliant at promoting the club. The number of young kids that are brought ground on game days bodes well for the future of the club and is truly amazing and wonderful to watch. Claire, Graham, Paul and Scott, along with the rest of their team, should be immensely proud of what they have continued to achieve. The Supporters Club thank them for all the work that they do for our club. Well done. Again, thank you to Steve Dickey, who's continued to produce a Belsley Bulletin, which gets bigger and better all the time. That's the online magazine. And also to Nicky Cordner, who with his YouTube videos, which shows from different angles all the goals for each game. Just brilliant. Thank you, lads. Thanks also go to Nick, James, Amber and other troops who work in the Sponsors Lounge. We were there, as we said, the last game of the season, and again, just lovely. A bit of a sore head on a Sunday morning, but it was worth it. Lovely. Well done, you lot. A special thanks this time goes to Norman Perry, our groundsman. Norman underwent major surgery just after, or at the New Year time. And it's great to see him back watching games again. We'd like to thank everyone who helps in producing a fantastic playing surface. Thank you. Last couple, we would also like to thank Michael Murray, who's just completed his first very successful year as chairman, the Broch Committee and the many other people who helped the club in any shape or form. Without your efforts, we would never be as successful as we've been, and I've said the club getting a bronze licence was an amazing achievement. Well done to you all. Again, on behalf of the supporters, I'd like to thank Mark, his coaching staff and all the players for another fantastic season. Also, Derek Strahan, Kitman and Xander Smith, his assistant. Thank you to Mark for presenting our trophies tonight and Kenny for doing the Supporters Club one. Well done to all the trophy winners tonight, and sorry to those who didn't win. Stay safe and thank you from all the Broch Supporters Club. We hope that next season is as exciting as this one. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Give it up please for Brian, for Kenny, and of course for my wonderful set of awards. Congratulations to everyone who did pick up awards at the end of another trophy winning season. Thank you to your manager, of course, for presenting. Now, we are very shortly going to move on to our Hall of Fame inductees 2025. But before we do, I'm going to invite forward, if I may, your club captain, Willie West, and his vice captain, Paul Young. Try to decide which one's going to speak. He's almost there with that appearance record. He was, of course, one of the first inductees last year into the Brock Hall of Fame. Willie West.
And I prepared for this, and to be honest, I want to do justice to these guys that it's been mentioned today about the anniversary that they're celebrating. It's one thing, speeches that seem to come second nature to these guys. We, as players, get the fortunate to experience pre-match motivational talks, half-time, dressing downs, and post-match kind of learnings. So it's one of the biggest strengths that these guys bring to the club and help us as a group of players to deliver on the park. So just on behalf of the players, on behalf of the coaching staff, we thought it was just the right thing to celebrate, and would like to ask Mark and James to come up for a wee gift from us all.
10 years and counting, trophy-laden serial winners. The two players that just presented that, more than 1,000 games for the Brock between them. And it's people like Mark and Bax and everyone else behind the scenes at this club that makes these people want to stay here and inspires them. Bax, you need to look at the camera. Can if you want, you're the gaffer, it's up to you. On behalf of he and his husband, it's the gaffer, Mark Cowie.
How do I say this? Thank you, gents, ladies, for that award. I'll be honest, I would have preferred the League Cup. Last game of the season, but we can't hit them all. But I think as manager of a club, you get a lot of plaudits and you get a lot of kick-ins depending on how you're doing your job. And folk forget the amount of people that work behind the scenes. We've had a pretty good 10 year. Well, I'm saying that, I'm thinking of Michael and Finlay, I phone him, I agree with you, but I think we're doing okay. But we wouldn't be doing that if we didn't have the folk that work with me, and I've said that before. With Alec, Mayor, Anthony, I shouldn't have started naming because I'm going to miss some near me. Right through the backroom team to the youth. The coaches and the youth team, the youth players, we're a big happy family here, and then you've got directors above me that allow me to do my job. So it's been a good 10 years, maybe presumptuous here, Michael, but hopefully there's a 10 years ahead of us still, is it? We'll go for that. Right, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Young, Willie West, James Duffy and Mark Cowie. Brock legends, one and all, congratulations to Mark and to Bax and all our staff. Many more, I'm sure, to come. It's no coincidence that people stay so long at the Brock, whether it's you see players there, as I say, the two lads that were up there. I think I'm right in saying they've got more than 1,000 games for the Brock, just between those two alone. And that's 10 years and counting with Martin and Bax. And it's credited to the football club as a whole, people on and off the park, that there's created an environment that people and their families want to be a part of it for so long. So congratulations again to the guys and good luck for the future.